Should be live. Yeah, we're live. Okay. So, what's up, guys? This is episode 2
Yo,
of the SoapCast. I'm here with my good friend.
Enzu,
Okay.
Enzu Lives, yes sir.
That shit's. I hate the intro. It's cringy. Hate doing intros.
I don't like her.
Even on
What's up,
videos.
guys?
Yeah.
It's your boy. Like, nah, that's
Like
five
fucking who is
queso,
it?
5 queso and chips.
Queso. Nice. W queso. Yeah. So everyone, I just got a new PC, boys. And I'm trying to figure out how to use fucking Valorant, but it just won't fucking work for some reason because it's being fucking stupid as shit. It's pissing me off a little bit. But so we decided to just do like an episode 2 of the podcast.
Yeah, episode 2. Yo, if anybody wants to join in, go ahead and feel free to join the call.
Oh,
For
and
real.
by the way, I didn't clarify this on the other podcast. We were going to be talking about anything, politicals, gaming, streaming, the downfall of Twitch.
Nothing controversial.
Oh, all controversy here. This is the only place where we're allowed to be controversial. I might have to if we decide to be controversial, we might have to make a different channel for that. I might have to make a different channel if we're gonna do controversial. But I will speak my mind on certain things and to a certain extent. I'll not be controversial in the way of like me just like saying like you can say it.
Controversial in the things you say?
Yeah, like no,
Um,
like saying like a word that me personally I can't say, but you
nigga?
personally, yeah, that word.
Okay.
I can't just say
Nigga.
I can't just say that. You know what I mean? I have to point to him to say,
Nigga.
yeah, I have to do that.
That's a controversial word in itself. Honestly, that's something that I want to start off with. I'm
He's
getting a
gonna
little
go off.
personal.
He's gonna get
I don't
canceled.
think anybody should be saying the N word
I mean, yeah. I
because
mean,
realistically, it's not a good word to be using, to be honest. Because like when you really think about it,
'cause that
it
word
was
was
used
made for like,
to degrade us, yeah, to
yeah, it was
degrade
made
black
to,
people. Like
yeah,
that in and itself is a bad thing. It's a bad thing to use. It's a bad word that shouldn't be used.
yeah. But
And
also,
like
it's
I was
like,
having
go ahead.
my fault.
Yeah, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I had this debate with somebody on Yubo Live about this a few days ago too.
Uh huh.
So
Yeah, but I mean, take the word back. I mean, you don't. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. You can take it back. Like the F word with gay people. I mean, just take it back. Like take the word back. You know what I'm saying? Make it their word. I guess. I don't know. It sounds kind of weird because I'm not gay or black, but I mean, I mean, just take the word, make it your own thing, make it a non-controversial thing, or make it like a like bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Because the word doesn't always have to have like a bad meaning behind it. You know what I mean? Word meaning of words have changed like all throughout history and stuff like that. Like how you say certain words that meant something now mean something else. I mean, shit
yeah,
changes. You know, it doesn't
um,
always have to have a bad meaning. Just take it and use it as like your own word. Change the meaning behind the word with like your actions and you know.
well, the N word it's different because like
Mhm.
even like trying to change the meaning behind it, it's not really gonna do anything because we've been using it for so long that now
Yeah,
it's gotten to a point where we're comfortable.
yeah.
I
I know
don't
what
I
you mean.
don't I just don't think it's a good word to be used in general. Even though I use it, which makes me sound like a hypocrite, but it's just kind of how I feel.
Yeah, you use it. Yeah.
I use it a lot, but I don't know. It's just because I'm used to using it. I'm used to being around people who use it. I'm used to being around that type of environment. So when you get used to it, even, bro, I know I have white people in my family that use the N word. So
Yeah.
it's like you just get used to that environment. So it's like you start saying it.
Yeah. I mean, I hung out around like a bunch of like different races, Asian, Hispanic, black, like a bunch of different, and everyone just said it like openly. And no one was like, "Hey, don't say it like that." Cuz we all knew our intentions behind it. Our intention wasn't to be like hateful, you know what I mean? And like
Yeah,
everyone was just like, "Ah, whatever, who cares?" It's just like,
yeah.
"Eh."
it just depends on who it is and who the like. Me personally, I don't care if my friends say it. Like it's just like there's a bar, there's a limit that you go.
Yeah. Like if you're like every
And
other word is the N word, then it's kind of a problem. Or if you're like coming up to somebody and being like call, especially hard R, I feel like is way worse than just like the A.
yeah,
Like
that's
it's
what the
way
limit
worse.
is.
It's like way worse. Like none of my
That's what
friends
the
ever
limit is.
said it. Not even the black people ever said it around me. But like no one just really cared. You know what I mean? No one really gave a shit. Everyone knew each other's intentions. Everyone was cool with each other. Even if you didn't know each other, it was like, you'd walk up to somebody and be like, yo, what's up? You know what I mean? Like it was always like
Hmm.
that.
I feel like, and just I don't know. I feel like it's a certain. I don't really know. I have so many views on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I don't feel like anybody. Like I said, I don't feel like anybody should be saying it,
Mm-hmm.
and that goes for anybody, even black people too,
Yeah.
because we're really just degrading ourselves. Speaking of black people, bro, did you see what they did in Chicago?
Oh, dude, yeah. It makes me mad because like people are like getting mad at like they're getting mad at the wrong people. They're getting mad at Walmart. But I mean, if you're losing like hundreds of millions of dollars in one city alone, it's kind of a problem. Like CVS left like LA like during like the pandemic and shit cuz what was going on.
Oh
And
yeah,
Walgreens did too. Like, I mean, it's just like if you're just gonna allow people to steal and not like have any consequence, like you can steal up to like $900 worth of shit and like not get arrested. The police
yeah,
won't
you
do
can.
anything. Like they won't like for in most states it's like that. So I mean, it's just like why would they lose like all that money just staying in that city whenever they can just leave and
Yeah.
not lose any
And they're
money?
building up a case.
It's so stupid because if you're especially if you're allowing that to happen and not saying anything and like making laws to make it easier to steal. Like why would like if I had like especially like a small businesses like small owned businesses are getting probably getting fucked by that
Yeah, it's. Oh,
because there's like a lot of
we sh-
black owned businesses there that are getting fucked up and
I'm
that's like all
embarrassed, honestly.
and that's like I mean you hear like oh support small business support small black owned businesses but I mean who's getting more affected these small black owned businesses in these areas are getting more affected like Hispanic owned, black owned, Asian owned businesses are getting fucked over the most in like those cities and states that just allow people just to steal.
It's sad because like when you really look at it, like I've seen people talk about it and on TikTok and shit, and it's like they're doing it to themselves. Like
Yeah.
they're ruining the chances. Like it's even worse for elderly people who don't have access to vehicles, who are too old to drive.
Mm-hmm.
Like now instead of going down the block to get stuff for like medicine, things of that nature,
Mm-hmm.
now they have to go
It's
two,
farther
three,
away.
4, 5 blocks down, possibly halfway across the city just to get access to like the shit that they need. And it's
Yeah.
sad because like that's not something that should have to happen.
Yeah.
But since they raided the entire store, the whole store closes down April 15th.
Yeah. You don't see that
Not even
here.
April 15th, May 15th.
Yeah. We don't have a lot of crime here like that. Like people steal, but those people get and like they will get caught. Like I mean there's businesses that have like these like police cameras or like police
Mm-hmm.
like towers set up in like their parking lots to like monitor everything and there's always police there's like the Best Buy near me has like a police officer in there 24/7 with like with like a desk with cameras and shit
Yeah, it's
so they
it
like they
should
fully
never
monitor that shit they make sure like nothing happens.
it should never get to that point, honestly. It should never get to a point to where we have to have security inside of our stores, but that's
Yeah.
just kind of how it is. That's the sucky part about it.
Yeah.
And I was saying, I was having a debate with
Mhm.
someone on Yubo. I don't know if you know what Yubo is,
I think I've heard of
but
it before.
Yubo is an app where you can go live with other people and talk to random people and shit like that.
Kind of like
And I was
Omegle
having a,
in a
yeah,
way.
kind of, but you can add people,
Hmm.
you can like
It's more
conversate with
personal.
them. Yeah, more personal.
Hmm.
And I was having that conversation with somebody, and they was like, "Well, Walmart should have had security. You know, Walmart should have had security. They should have been more protective over their stuff."
They
And I
shouldn't
was
have to.
like, "We shouldn't have to, especially in a neighborhood where like schools are getting shut down, especially in Chicago,
Yeah.
where violence is at its peak,
Mhm.
where schools are getting shut down, where most of the kids are being forced to go into the streets because they don't have enough money to provide for their families.
Yeah.
We should not be robbing those type of stores. We shouldn't be robbing in general."
Yeah.
And like like it just got so heated.
Mhm.
And I was using facts because that's what a debate is. People
Yeah.
don't know what a debate is. They don't know a debate. A debate is when you debate with somebody with facts, not opinions. And
Mhm.
then it went from being factual to opinionative.
Yeah. I
And it just got so heated.
Opinions don't matter whenever they aren't facts or whenever, because in the real world, like your opinion, like because in a college setting, yeah, your opinion matters, but in the real world, no one gives a fuck about your opinion. Like you can't like run for office off of opinions. That's not how that works. You had to run off I mean it's how it works now. I mean, Chicago like elected their worst mayor they've ever had ever, and she ruined the city completely destroyed the city, allowing riots to go, like defunding the police, not funding the police more in certain areas. Because I mean, there has been a lot of police violence, especially after these like past few years, especially after George Floyd. You've seen a lot more and a lot more. But it's because they're in these places where there are these where the police violence is happening are places where they're underfunded with their training, with how they're getting paid, and a bunch of different things. Because there should be more funding going. They should be paid. Police officers should be paid way more. They should also have way more funding whenever it comes to training. They should have to. They should be required to go. They should be required to go to these training things every month, like once a month, and have a certain amount of hours logged in at the gun range, and also have pictures taken of the paper that they shoot to see how accurate they are. There should be a lot of things like that, and then also police should be like I forgot this guy named Andrew Yang, a
Hmm.
Democrat that was running for president in 2020. He said that police officers should, I think it's like a purple or blue or purple or brown belt in taekwondo or jujitsu at least to become a police officer, so they know how to like take somebody down without hurting them and without like using like a taser or mace or anything like that. Be able to like grapple somebody, like hold them down, pin them down without like hurting them too bad. And that's true. Like every police officer should be trained in jujitsu. Every police officer should be in shape. They should be required to go to a gym every certain amount of hours during the day and have like a certain amount of hours like logged in the week. Um,
Hmm.
they should be put on a diet. They should be told there should be more regulations on police. They should be military trained. They shouldn't just be like they shouldn't just have to like run a mile in like a certain amount of time and be okay, because any a fat guy can run a mile pretty easily. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? And then you have people that are just not, and also have more mental health, because it's like, what do police see every single day? Dead children, abuse. Like they see that all the time, and that's like, and I mean, you see that enough, and then you have PTSD, and every little thing that you see somebody do, you're just like you want to shoot them, because it's like, oh, they're putting their hands down, they might be reaching for something, and you have that PTSD. That's like, or you hear a
I don't
loud
really feel
noise. It's
like
like, it's there's always something, because
I don't
they
really feel
have
like that's
flashes.
PTSD. I mean, I don't really feel like that's PTSD. I feel like everything you're saying is true, especially with like the whole like like mental thing
Hmm.
and getting therapy.
Hmm.
Because like when you really think about it, cops, they have one of the hardest jobs.
They see terrible shit that me and you, if we
Terrible
seen it
shit.
one time, like if we were just to see it or hear about it, we would feel disgusted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They see abuse, they see rape, they see children being hurt, like, and especially if you have children, how like how that would mess with you seeing like if you, especially if you're a police officer and you have a children, you love your children, you see a parent doing something terrible to their child or someone doing something terrible to a child, you can't imagine that and that hurts you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
they have one of the worst jobs.
And they
They
should be
have one of
paid
the
more.
hardest jobs.
And they should be paid more for it. A lot of police officers are barely making minimum wage. You know what I mean? There's probably McDonald's workers making more than some police officers in some states. You know what I mean? It's that that's not how that should be. That's not how that should be at all.
I feel like police officers, you know, there's some things that like make me really question. I guess it's depending on the viewpoint because in places like Chicago,
Hmm.
a lot of people are scared of the police.
Yeah.
In places like Minnesota, Minneapolis,
Hmm.
especially after what happened to George Floyd, a lot of people
Yeah.
have this really big stereotype that all cops are bad.
But
I
you
don't
also,
say,
but if you look at the salary in those states, like they're extremely underfunded, like to the
yeah,
point where it's just like they're why are there cops? You know what I mean? Because they're just extremely underfunded, and they need, because I feel like having more funding for pay and having a higher level of training, having military like training, and having to be a certain like belt in some kind of mixed martial art would help a lot. Keeping them in shape, offering them more money so that they don't have to go corrupt, offering mental health days, like not mental health days. I think I find that cringy. Having, oh, I need a mental, I find that just really cringy. But like helping them out, like helping them stay at their tip top, helping them stay in shape, having good mental health, offering providing them enough money that they don't have to go corrupt, because that's what
right,
happens in like LA. They're underfunded, and there's cops like taking guns and going and selling them across the border to cartels all the time because they're so underfunded. They have no money and need to provide for their family. But we look at them as monsters, but then they feel bad for like the cartel members that are doing the same thing, or gang members that are doing the same thing. Whenever, like, if you're not making money and you're going through hell, you're gonna do whatever it takes to be able to provide for your family, even if it means you're gonna become a worse person because of it. You know what I mean?
mm,
Like the first thought
yeah,
you have is your family, not of how people are going to think of you. Like if I had to provide for my family, I would do crazy shit if I needed to provide for my family until I was able to get a
yeah,
job to where I could provide for my family, right?
and I feel like with the whole police are a bad thing. I feel like that's not true. Not even even in the slightest. I don't feel like they're.
In every field of work, there's corrupt doctors, there's there's like bad nurses, bad doctors, bad firemen,
Hmm.
like bad
Yeah, there's bad
EMTs.
everything.
There's bad Walmart workers, there's bad McDonald's workers, Wendy's workers, bad cab drivers. There's bad everything.
Yeah, there's bad everything. And like when people say that there's bad, like all cops are bad, it's like no, not all
Then say
cops are
that about
bad.
doctors. You know,
They
like a
say that
doctor
about
that killed
everything
their
else.
patient on purpose. You can say that about all doctors now, because one doctor killed their patient on purpose.
I truthfully don't believe that they are all bad cops. I
Yeah.
feel like the ones that do it are bad, right?
Hmm.
But then the rare ones that just watch it happen, those are also bad cops
Yeah, they should
because they're
speak
not
up.
doing their job and stepping up and doing what they have to do,
Hmm.
which sucks. But I hate the whole all cops are bad and this and this because that's not true even in the slightest.
I feel bad for those cops that are being silenced whenever they try to speak up about something. Because there's a lot of police officers that try to speak up and then they get silenced. I feel bad for those ones because they're trying to, but they're scared of what might happen if they do, because they don't know who is behind it. I feel like there should be more investigation into corruption, like FBI, CIA kind of like investigation into corruption, more of that, and obviously make them higher paid, like give them more money and other things, so where they don't have to go like do bad things to be able to provide for their family.
Yeah. So, um, what's another thing we could talk about? I seen this on a podcast the other day, and it had really. Oh shit!
His mic
My
arm
mic,
broke. Oh,
my
dude.
mic just came out. Oh no! Hold on, let me fix it.
I want to get one of those like low profile ones, like the ones that like kind of stay low. I want to get one of those. Those are dope. But they're like a lot, I think. They're like 50, $60 or something like that. I don't want to buy like a cheap one either because like cheap ones suck. I'm sorry, everybody. Hold on.
Thing is so okay. That'll work for now.
But
But
what did you want to talk about?
do you feel like your girlfriend or Jasmine specifically, do you feel like she has the right to respond to her ex if her ex texts her?
No. No, like I mean, if you I feel like if you respond to them and it's for any reason, then you care about them enough, then you still like have feelings or miss them, and then you should just go to them. Then if I find out she like decided to text like one of her exes, I'm saying bye, like instantly. Like I don't. There's no excuse for it unless they
No,
like
I'm
responded bad to him. You know what I
I
mean?
feel I feel like it depends. Depends on the situation.
Like what situation?
Like, let's say hypothetically she decides to text her, the ex texts her, right?
Hmm.
And the ex is like, hey, like I miss you, yada yada yada, whatever the case may be. And she responds and hits him with well, I get that you miss me, but I moved on and I'm happy with the person that I'm talking to.
Yeah.
And that's valid.
Yeah, that's valid. Or they should just say, "Go kiss your spaghetti." You know what I'm saying? Kick your spaghetti. You know what I'm saying? Just tell them that. you know? Nah, I'm messing.
If, if you respond to your ex and give them the energy that they're giving you, then that I don't care if you're in a talking stage. I don't care if you're in a talking stage. I don't care if you're like in a relationship. That's
Hmm.
fucked up. That's
Oh
cheating.
yeah, no,
Talking
100%.
stage or not. Because if you're in a talking stage, you should be focused on one person. I should be taking that advice because when I'm in a talking stage, I don't. And I tend to mess with multiple people. But
Hmm.
that's for the simple fact that I'm not wasting my time on one person if that person can't get their life together.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
I don't even know. I have to take my dog out though. You feel like you can hold this over till I get back?
Yeah, I'm just gonna talk about something absolutely random for a minute.
Okay.
Well, while my co-host is gone, I do want to bring up one thing. The whole Kai situation. I don't. They think they know why Kai got banned, so it's just kind of like it's weird, but it makes sense. I mean, you know what I mean. Like you want to make sure like that shit gets off, but like you want to make sure that shit kind of goes away. I want to pull up a video. I want to pull up a video for you guys really quick. Everyone listening in the podcast, I want to pull up a video for you really quick. That's a really good video on why. And also like there's like a little bit of a skit in it, but let me go ahead and try to if it loads. Why is it not loading? Don't you guys just hate that when shit doesn't load? I'm still trying to figure out my whole thing. Okay. Let's do this then. Or don't do that. This video right
As I'm in the
here.
midst of applying for residency right now, wish me luck. Grammarly has again.
Let's go back on this, boys. I want to show you guys this really quick. This little video. Make sure you guys can see my face. So I'm sorry if it's like kind of like a little weird, but
So last week, Twitch banned its largest creator, Kai Cenat. And in case you've been living under a rock, Kai has become one of the fastest growing names in streaming. He actually just won the Streamer of the Year award and passed the all-time subscriber record on Twitch during his recent subathon, passing 300,000 subscribers, making Twitch millions of dollars in 2023 alone. Now, this is nothing new. People get banned on Twitch all the time. In fact, this was actually Kai's 5th time being banned on the platform. So even their largest creators aren't untouchable from their fair and balanced terms of service. But with the rise of Twitch's first real competitor in streaming for a year's Kick, timing couldn't have been any worse. I mean, I get it. Breaking TOS is a
I do want to ask you guys one thing. Anybody that is watching this podcast after now or even if the podcast is done, how do you guys feel about Kick? And like honest opinions, I don't want to hear any like biased opinions like, oh, it sucks. If you have actually genuinely tried it, and like I want to hear real responses, not just like, oh, it sucks, Twitch is bad. Like I don't want to hear that. I want to hear real responses. If you've actually used it, if you've not used it, I don't want to see your opinion on it because your opinion is invalid. Because I've used both. I've been on Twitch for like 6-7 years streaming, and I have felt no love from Twitch in any way. And I know I'm a small creator, but you also got to care about your smaller creators in any platform like YouTube does. YouTube cares about their smaller creators. My stuff gets pushed out to way more people than any other platform because I feel like YouTube actually cares and YouTube actually listens. But yeah, just give me your opinion on Kick and what you guys think and what you guys think Twitch is going in the next few years.
Rules, you shouldn't be doing it. But I can only imagine how things are being ran at Twitch by now. Hey, yeah! Can somebody please explain to me how we managed to lose 3 million people to Kick? I have no idea. Twitch is such an enjoyable place. I love the ads. I would assume it's because the viewers don't have to.
I'm gonna skip a little bit ahead on that.
Repeated, explicit, simulated sexual activity in GTA. Which honestly, this is nothing new. Streamers have been banned for this in the past. And I understand rules are rules, but I'm just genuinely curious as to why. Why shake things up during interesting times for honestly something so little? Because let's be honest, if Twitch really cared about simulated sexual activities in video games, the entire FPS community would be banned from every victorious teabag. Honestly, the terms and service on Twitch are so wide.
That's true. That's kind of true though. Like there'd be a lot of people just getting banned left and right for shit.
That the majority of Twitch probably breaks TOS.
And also, I feel like whenever it comes to sexual activity in video games, I feel like some games should have an exception because there is that in there. Or those games should have like a censor type of deal so that they're kind of censored, so that it doesn't conflict with streamers and stuff like that, conflict with whatever platform they're streaming on.
Every single day, and they have no idea they're doing so. So it got me to thinking, is this just maybe a nice way for Twitch to kind of say, hey, thanks for...
Also, there's a lot of TOS things that everyone does every single day. I've probably done multiple right here, right now, I've probably done multiple TOS things. Like just right now, you know what I mean? But I feel like whenever it comes to like platforms, I feel like probably Twitch has the most, and it's just for random things. Kick has TOS. It's just they're more lenient on the bans. They're not like a week, month, year, forever. Do you know what I mean? They're just like, 24 hours, you come back tomorrow and stream again. Just stop doing it. If you keep on repeatedly doing it, you will be permanently banned. And they let you know. And Twitch does not let you know why you get banned. There's no clips they send you. Sometimes they do that for certain people, but it's like certain people. It's like certain people that they care more about because there is a little bit of bias, I feel like, when it comes to Twitch.
For all your hard work, but leave. I think we've all noticed by now that the relationship between Kai and Twitch has always been just weird. Like they never really seemed to want to work with or cheer for him until they really couldn't ignore his success anymore. And I know. I can already feel every 250 hour
I got you, bro.
10 viewer TTV Andy fueling up their keyboard for the comments of
just because you're big doesn't mean you're untouchable.
But what people often forget or just don't even think about is creators like Kai control viewers on Twitch. They don't just use the site, they populate it, whether you like them or not. When streamers like Kai, Nick Merckx, XQC go live, tens of thousands of people tune in to the platform to watch them specifically. These are not just imaginary digital numbers that would bleed down to the next streamer if those creators were pushed off the website. They would go watch those creators on other websites. So
that's true though.
Become a double-edged sword.
I feel like if you're a creator and you're worried about sorry, I'm doing a podcast right now. Anyone that's in here right now, I'm doing a podcast. Oh, and anyone that's watching this podcast after I'm done live, I do these podcasts live because I just like going live. I hate recording. I just like going live for you guys. So if you guys want to listen to this podcast live, I do not have a good schedule for the podcast whatsoever. The schedule is completely random. I try to do as many as I can a week. Probably most likely going to do one a week, but this week I'm doing 2. But yeah, let me go back into this. I feel like if you're a small creator, no matter what like kind of creator you are, I feel like you could definitely, like, if you have a community that cares about you and truly loves you, they're just not going to like quit watching you because you're off a certain platform. They're going to follow you to whatever platform you go if they genuinely care about your content. Like Tim the Tap Man, he switched over to YouTube and is averaging more viewers than he did on Twitch. because his community came over and he had new people come in as well. This Acer's, you have about a $740 laptop. I just bought a new PC. I got a 4070 in it, bro. I got a 4070 Ti in my PC, bro. I'm gonna try to play a game tomorrow and see how it runs. But besides that, I feel like switching platforms shouldn't be a problem, especially if you're a smaller creator and you're thinking about switching platforms. Do it, dude. Do it. Just switch. I switched and I felt a lot better. I felt a lot stressed about content and about numbers and stuff like that because YouTube genuinely pushes out my stuff, and I try to make enjoyable, fun content for people to watch. And if you're putting out good, enjoyable content, then it should be okay. Like people will watch, people will come, but you gotta make enjoyable content. If you've been doing content for like years and years and years, and you're not going anywhere, probably need to change what you do. I mean, I've been slowly changing what I do, like all the time. Like I'm starting to do this podcast now. I've been doing more short form content as well, like with like some of my clips, posting them more instead of just streaming. And now I'm on YouTube and I'm trying to upload more. I'm trying to stream on here because streaming is probably one of the best ways to grow on YouTube. Because if you're streaming, uploading videos, even doing a podcast and uploading shorts on one channel, you're going to grow, like blow up like crazy numbers. Like, you know what I mean? I went from 300 to 600 in a few months because of like how much I've been doing and how much content I've been trying to push out onto just one channel. I'm doing like 4 different things on one channel right now. I feel like that's the best way to grow. He has to walk his dog. But L co-host, can we get some L co-hosts in the comments down below or just in the live chat right now? But seriously though, like it's not as hard as it used to be to blow up as a content creator. It used to be really, really hard to blow up as a content creator, but now it's not anymore. It's pretty easy. Making content is pretty easy now compared to how it used to be. Like blowing up because of TikTok and shorts. Shorts are insane. I get thousands. I average like 1,000 plus views a short. You know what I mean? I have like even I was averaging that much whenever I had 300 subs. You know what I mean? Now I'm at 600. Mostly because of shorts. Anytime I post a short, I gain like 2-3 subs all the time. You know what I mean? Some shorts do better. I've gained probably the most I've ever gained off of one short. I would have to go check really quick for you guys. But I've probably gained a lot of subs off of just like shorts alone. Like literally just off of like shorts alone. Views. Let me go by views. This one alone, let's see, my 13.4K views. Let's do lifetime. I've gained 34 plus subs off of just this short alone. 13K. You know what I mean? That's a lot of views, man. That's a lot of views. To be, I mean, I just encourage anybody, if you genuinely want to make it in content, you will do anything. You will lose sleep for it. You will do everything you can to pump out content to be able to blow up. Stuff like that. But yeah. Just waiting for him to get back, honestly, now. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of stuff going on in the news now. They say someone's running for presidential election is really soon. Is getting close to. I don't know what to talk about now, boys. I guess I can go back to what we were talking about, what me and him were talking about. We were talking about Chicago. Let me pull up some stuff on that because I want to make sure like I'm right. Let's go to this Walmart pulling. Oh my god. Walmart pulling out Chicago. Walmart pulling out of Chicago. And Walmart welcomed the opportunity to show cities it could be strong corporate partner, but now Walmart is pulling back from Chicago. The largest realtor in the country announced plans this week to close 4 of its 8 stores in the city growing financially citing growing financial losses. Like if you, especially for small businesses, like if for big businesses, if they're pulling out of these cities because of all like the riots and like the burning of stores and robbing and shit like that and raiding. But imagine small businesses. Imagine like family owned small like businesses that aren't like making millions of dollars. They're making enough to be able to provide for their family. You know what I mean? Just because you own a business doesn't mean you're a millionaire. Because I feel like a lot of people just like get that messed up. Is that like if you own a business, if you own a store, own a restaurant, you're pulling in money, dude. You're filthy rich. Doesn't no. A lot of businesses, especially small businesses, not like corporate businesses, are barely scraping by, like have enough to be able to provide for their family, and that's it. A line of Chicago mayors heavily courted Walmart over the last two decades, brushing aside community protest, and Walmart welcomed the opportunity to show cities it could be a strong corporate partner. But now Walmart is pulling back from Chicago. The largest realtor in the country announced plans this week. Plans this week to close 4 of its 8 stores in the city, citing growing financial losses. 3 are in prominently black and low income neighborhoods, and their closures will with little warning mean residents, including elderly citizens and people without a reliable transportation, will have to travel further to buy groceries and pick up their medications. These stores lost tens of millions of dollars a year, and their annual loss nearly doubled in the last 5 years, Walmart said. Despite years of different strategies, the company said it did not see a route to profitability for these stores. Walmart, which made $20.6 billion in 2022, did not expect why losses were growing in Chicago. City leaders, but you know what I mean. It's because of city leaders why these things are happening. The mayor, who's the mayor now? Did the mayor change? Chicago mayor. I just spelled Chicago wrong. Lori, is she the mayor now? Lori Lightfoot. A lot of people have said, or Lightfoot. A lot of people have said that she is the reason why Chicago has gone downhill. Crime in Chicago over time. Let's try to see. Probably not the best site to go to. Probably go to the Chicago Police Department, man. Is this it? Summary of numbers, including index, violent property crime, annual report. Just annual report, I guess. Let's go. Okay, so let's do 2017 first. Let's see what 2017 was like. 2 years before she took office. Why is it not saying anything? Well, this is weird. I don't like how this is laid out. But yeah, the crime rate has definitely gone up since she took office. 2017 Chicago. In 2017, the city had 2,785 shootings incidents and 345 shooting victims, which was a decrease from the 3,500 shootings, including the 4.3 shooting victims in 2016, according to the newly reports. So that was 2017, right? Let's go to 2018. That was a decrease. Crime rate for twins decline with 8.44% decline from 2017. So the crime rate went down that year. Let's do 2019.
I'm back.
Okay, sorry, I'm doing this. I'm doing some investigations. Let's see this. So in 2017, the crime rate went down in Chicago from 2016, and in 2018, it went down almost another 10%. But if we go into 2019, there's nothing about it. Chicago has already seen more murders and has already seen Chicago has already seen more murders and shootings this year than all of 2017. Oh wait, why is this 29? Oh, it's 2021. So why is it doing that? Okay, I think this is a better one. So 2016, it was from 762 to 784 murder/homicide count percentage. Wait, what is this? Oh, I don't like how this is laid out. But yeah, you see it was going down over the years.
What are you talking about?
I'm trying to figure this out a little bit better. Yeah, I don't know why it's not showing it, which is weird. So you know who the mayor of Chicago is right now?
No, I have no idea who the mayor of Chicago is.
Lori Lightfoot is the current mayor of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And after she took office, there was once she took office and all the laws that she was making, there was an increase of crime from 2019 to current day. There's been an increase of crime and a police defunding, and just with all that far left thought of thinking, that far left thinking has been put into the city, basically ruining the city and making it way worse than what it was. And the crime rate was going down before she took office. It was going down almost 10% each year. And then she took office and it just spiked, especially in 2020, which also could be because of the George Floyd and COVID and stuff like that. It could be also because of that, but there's also defunding of the police as well. So it's just that also increased the crime. Here, our crime went up during 2020 and during the George Floyd stuff, but it didn't go up that much because we didn't have police defunding here. So it didn't go up by an insane amount compared to Chicago, where the police were defunded.
Well, shit, I don't really What's up, Jasmine? I don't really know too much about Chicago and the violence out there, even though I'm really close to it.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope everything gets sorted out and eventually just Chicago's livable.
I think the only way to fix Chicago is to get rid of the current mayor and put either a Republican in or a more middle Democrat. I feel like the only way is to go more right than left, because you see and I'm not and I know I'm gonna get hate. No, the right is worse. There is a lot of bad people on the right, especially far right, but far left has literally made with the far left, more crime happens whenever the far left takes over cities, or just whenever the left takes over cities and states. Crime gets worse. Crime goes up, deaths go up, pricing goes up, housing costs goes up. I mean, LA and New York have the highest rent cost in the entire country almost. You know what I mean? And these are liberal states and cities. But South Carolina, North Carolina have really low cost of living.
So far left is Democrat, right?
Yeah, far left is Democrat.
And then far right is Republican.
Yeah,
That's
far
what
right
that
is
means,
Republican.
Jasmine.
Yeah, far right is Republican. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like we need more people. I feel like for the most part, most people are more in the middle than far right or far left. I feel like that's how it is, but those people get kind of outspoken by the people on the far right and the far left, which is not a lot on either side. It's just they yell louder. They have a bigger voice. It's someone like AOC, you know what I mean? AOC has a bigger voice than most people, and she's very far left. Very, very, very far left. And a lot of her
Most
opinions are very
definitely.
dangerous and have been proven to destroy countries.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, Jasmine, that's what that means.
Yeah.
Because I knew you were confused on it. I just feel like crime in Chicago, or in general, I
Crime
don't
has
feel like
overall
crime
gone
is
up.
ever going to stop. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be honest. I don't feel like it's ever gonna stop. We
Yeah. That's a clip. That's a clip, guys. That's a clip right there. That is a fucking clip for the podcast. No, that's funny though. That would happen to him.
like this happens so much.
That would happen to Jalen of all people. Yeah, crime's never gonna stop. But I feel like depending on who's in charge, crime will get worse. And I'm not saying like all like Democrats are bad, and I'm not saying the left is terrible and that, you know, because there's a lot of good people on the left. I mean, I agree with Andrew Yang, and he's on the left. I agree with him on a lot of things. I agree with a lot of different people on the left with a lot of things. I just wish more sensible people and people that actually know what they're doing would run for office. Like in my opinion, with Joe Biden, I don't think he's the one making the decisions, and I don't think Kamala Harris is either. Because if you've listened to any of their speeches, you would think it was like a toddler giving a speech, or like yeah, trying to like form like a good sense, trying to speak with some kind of like I don't know how to like I don't know how to say, I don't know a good word for it, but it's like hearing a toddler speak, like stuttering, not knowing how to say words correctly. It's very bad. And then also Kamala Harris, like one of her 5 speeches she has given so far as a in the 3 years they've been in office, she talked about USBs in cars and how USB in cars are just going to be this big huge thing that's going to happen within the next couple years. But it's like, here I can even pull it up because I'm not going to be that person that's like not going to pull that shit up. I don't know how to spell her name. Kamala Harris.
It's not gonna. She's a
Speech.
shifter. What's a shifter, Jasmine?
And I don't want to get into that.
Well, what is
Kamala
it
Harris
though? You don't have
speech.
to get into it. Oh,
Um, but yeah, like a lot of her speeches are just very bad. I can't find a good one. Here, I'm gonna show you. I gotta share my screen really quick with you. I'm gonna share my screen really quick with you, so also you guys can also see what I am going to show him. Can you see it?
yeah, I can see it.
Oh, let me get through this ad. Fuck Valorant. I'm choking. I love Valorant. Valorant's a W.
Moment of light relief, courtesy of one of the most powerful women in the world whose oratory skills are second to none. Take it away, Kamala Harris.
Over these last 18 months, Democrats have delivered. Let me rephrase that. Over these last 18 months, Democrats have delivered big time.
But delivered what? There's no like. It's just because I can say that. I can say that about anything. You know what I'm saying? Crime has gone down in Chicago. It's just amazing. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect, guys. It is absolutely perfect. I'm the best. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest president of all time. I can do what Trump does. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like doesn't mean it's true.
That was the high point of the speech. And boy, haven't the Democrats delivered big time. Biggest gas prices, big inflation, more than 2 million illegal immigrants crossing the southern border. That's big. And don't forget the dramatic increase in violent crime in Democrat-run cities. No wonder Kamala is proud.
I actually
I'm sorry, I'm not even
John
letting you
Adams'
say.
record of casting the most tie-breaking votes in a single term. How about that? How about that?
She has a scary laugh.
How about that?
How about
Yes.
that?
When she's not laughing weirdly, Kamala is delivering speeches that sound a lot like a child doing a school presentation on an assignment where they've clearly done zero work.
Today, the business of our work is for the council to report
He could
on
go.
the work that has occurred since our last meeting across these.
Our current administration is the biggest joke we have ever had in American history. And that's just the honest truth. This is the worst administration we have ever had in this country. I would honestly rather have Trump and have a bunch of people cry and complain every single day about him, knowing that I'm gonna have lower gas prices, food costs is gonna be lower, housing costs are gonna be lower, and there's gonna be less crime than have them in here and people not cry and complain and have high gas prices, have high cost of living and high cost of eating. I would rather have Trump than Joe
Definitely.
Biden and Kamala Harris. Whenever they can't do a speech right. And then also Kamala laughed about smoking weed whenever she was putting people, black people, in prison and hiding evidence to let them get released early and using them as free labor to fight fires in California. But you know, Juneteenth was a holiday that she made. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's a great holiday that she was able to put into law, but she put black men in jail for crimes that aren't even that bad, for having a half a blunt. And in a state where weed is highly legal and everyone does it. And there's some of them are probably still in jail because of it right now, because of her. But you know, there's not really much we can do about it because we have a woman of color in office now, and that's all that matters, is that we have a woman and a woman of color in office. And I'm not saying it's bad to have a woman in office. If there is a woman that can run the country perfectly fine, put her in office. Put her in office. But if the only reason why she is in office is because she's a woman or a woman of color, then that's the problem. We don't like, diversity is good and all whenever the diversity is actually good. You know, whenever they actually know what they're doing. But if someone like this who sounds like a fifth grader, sounds like a fifth grader giving a presentation in front of their class whenever they barely studied for the project, it's just not good. It's like bad look on the country. And like countries like China and Russia look at us as a weak. And that's why Russia did what they did. And that's why China's doing what they're doing right now. Because they see us as weak and they know we're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
And we also had a good relationship with China and Russia with Trump. I mean, not a good relationship with China, but, you know, China respected us. And they weren't doing all these terrible things to Hong Kong or Taiwan at the time. And then Russia, and even Putin was saying good things about America. You know what I mean? He wasn't saying bad things about America. Kim Jong-un. I mean, I know I don't like Kim Jong-un. I wish we could take him out and free those people in North Korea. I really wish we could free those people. Because from what I heard, it is terrible what they're doing, starving their people to death. It's disgusting. It's terrible. Concentration camps. You say something bad about the government, or you get put into a camp 3 generations. Like, let's say your grandpa does something, you're gonna be in a concentration camp because of what your grandpa did like 50 years ago. It is disgusting. It's terrible what's going on there, and I wish we could do something about it. But I feel like having a good relationship with them does a lot to help those people. I feel like having a good relationship, because like there's a saying, keep your friends closer, your enemies closer. And I mean, we need.
Low-key tired.
I understand. I'm tired too. But I mean, we need to have good relationship with these countries, even if we don't like them, because I feel like in the long run that will benefit a lot of things. And I feel like if it wasn't for how the media portrayed Putin at the time when Joe Biden went over there, then this wouldn't have happened. And then also us trying to bring Ukraine into NATO, and I know a lot of people don't know this. If a country does join NATO, then NATO will put weapons in that country. And imagine if Russia, and this happened, Russia put missiles into Cuba, or Cuba joined the USSR at the time, whenever the Soviet Union was still a thing. They were gonna put missiles in Cuba, and that was the start of the Cuban Missile Crisis. And we didn't like that, and we were gonna start we're gonna fake a disaster, fake a shooting down of a U.S. plane to start a war with Cuba. We were gonna fake a war with Cuba because of what was happening. And now we're trying to put weapons of mass destruction into Ukraine right on their border. What do you think they're going to do? You know what I mean? They're going to stop us from trying to do that. And I'm not saying they're right, but we would do the same thing. And we were going to do the same thing. If it wasn't for JFK, it would have happened. If it wasn't for JFK saying, no, we're not doing this, this would have happened. We would have went to a world war. We would have started a war with Cuba, and it would have ended poorly for America because they were allied with Russia, and Russia had the authority to help their ally. Like how we do, like if Russia, or like let's say Russia decides to invade a NATO ally, we would jump on it. We would have to, because that's our alliance in NATO. We have to help them. So I mean, we're doing the same thing that we hated Russia for at the time. And I don't think we should hate people either. I think we should. It's not the people either, because a lot of people in Russia are fleeing. I mean, we caught some Russians trying to make it over to Alaska not that long ago during the beginning of the war. And you see a lot of Russians like immigrating to Poland and other countries to escape what is going on, so they don't have to fight in a senseless war. I mean, there's Russian soldiers going across the border and then surrendering and then going back home because they don't want to deal with it, or just escaping into Ukraine to go to another country so they don't have to be in a part of the war.
It's sad, bro.
Because it's not the people, it's the government, and no government in no country's government in this situation is right. Russia's not right. Ukraine's not right. We're not right. No one is right in this situation at all. No one is right in this situation at all. Everyone is the problem in this situation. And we're also dumping billions of dollars into this war. And whenever we could be dumping that money into plenty of other things, stopping crime, funding police, finding ways to help homeless people. How is helping homeless people by letting them sleep wherever they want more humane than actually getting them off the streets? You know what I mean? Like the left wants to make it seem like the best thing to do for these homeless people is just letting them camp wherever they want. I mean, they've literally found the Black Plague in LA, where all the homeless people are at. The homeless population in LA is literally bringing back a pandemic that killed what was it? Like how much of a percentage of Europe?
I'll look it up.
Black
1.1 million.
Black Plague. About 25 million people are estimated to have died in Europe from the plague between 1347 and 1351. 25 million people. And at that time, how that was that was probably like 60, 70, 80% of the population at that time too. Because there wasn't that many people 700 years ago. And then now that same plague is being started because of the same conditions that were in Europe at the time. People were shitting in the street, throwing trash everywhere. And that's what's happening. And then also, polluting the earth is wrong unless you're homeless. You're not allowed to throw plastic on the side of the road unless you are homeless. Then you're allowed to. It's okay. You should do it. But if anybody else does it, then they're mean, they're monsters, they're poopy heads. You're not allowed to do that. No. You are very meanie. You're a meanie head. That's how they treat it. I feel like the best way to help these people, especially ones that are like mentally ill or like addicted to drugs or alcoholics, give them two choices. Hey, we will give you a place to live. We will help you get off of alcohol, drugs, help you find a job, help you get education, or you can just go to jail. We'll put you in prison or jail, but you're not sleeping on the streets. And offer them that. Give them those two choices, and then whatever they pick, send them there. Help them get off drugs. Give them a place to stay. Give them incentives. Like have multiple in a room. If one wants to have their own room, give them incentives. Stay off drugs for this long, and then we'll give you your own room or we'll upgrade you.
We've been doing this for an hour.
Yeah, but yeah, give them have multiple in one room, and then give them an incentive to get a better room, upgrade. Stay off drugs for this long, and we'll give you a better room. Stay off drugs for like this month and for a whole month, 30 days, and we will upgrade you. As long as you keep on staying off those drugs, we'll keep you in that room. If you want to go get your education, do good. Do good in school. Do good in college. Do good in whatever like you want to do. If you want to get a high school or college degree, do good in that, and we will upgrade you again. Keep your get a job. Keep that job. Do well in that job. We will upgrade you more, and then after a while, you can go get your own place. Go live on your own. Buy your own house. Live your own life after that, and still check in on them. Make sure they're still doing okay for a few years after. And it's going to take a while to do that. It's not going to be an overnight thing. It may take a year. It may take. It's not going to take a year. It's probably going to take 5 years to help one person out. But that's better than just doing nothing and let them just stay wherever they want. Let him just sleep in the woods. Let him sleep on the side of the road, having needles everywhere. What if your child decides to pick up one of those needles or steps on one of those needles? You know what I mean? Like that, and that's
Right.
what's happening. Babies are probably picking up needles on the side of the road, and like I mean, there's houses, there's people in LA saying that they find needles in their backyard every single day, and that they got to go pick up all the needles in their backyard before they let their children out to play or let their dog outside to go use the bathroom. They have to do that every single day, and that should never happen. That should never happen here in America. That should never happen here. We see that in other countries and see that as very common, and that's sad, but their government's not helping them. We have the resources to help these people out, and we're choosing to send trillions of dollars to other things that are pointless. We're helping funding a war that could cause World War III at any moment. We're just doing that. We want World War III so bad now. And it's the party that wants peace. It's the party that fought against wars is now for a war that could cause World War III. We had our president is over here getting speeches and tweeting out that World War III is about to happen. Talking about World War III. If it happens, it happens. Being nonchalant about it.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
Wow.
but it, well, it's a good thing. We need to fight this war. No, we don't. We don't need to go to war. We do not need to go to war. This can be de-escalated in so many different ways. Most of Russia probably doesn't even want this war. You know what I mean? Because Russia and Ukraine, like there's people. They're both the same people. They all come from the same. Like they're all connected, bro. There's people living in Russia that have family in Ukraine. There's people in Ukraine that have family in Russia. It's just the governments that are the problem here, not the people. And the people are being forced into something that we can't control.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we should go to war either. It's just pointless. War is pointless. It doesn't do anything but ruin both sides. So
And it causes generation of hatred, generations of hatred.
generational hatred. Yeah.
I mean, what Japan did to Korea and China back during World War II, they still hate them. They still hate Japan. A lot of those people still hate Japan because of what they did to their
Oh.
grandfather, to their grandparents. You know what I mean? They still
Okay,
hate
so
them for it.
My Wi-Fi is acting stupid again.
Oh,
So if I
Wi-Fi.
disconnect, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. But do you have anything to say?
Nah, I just feel like generational hatred sucks because I've seen that thing happen firsthand too. The
Mhm.
whole what is it? Korea Japan thing. I've seen
Yeah.
that happen firsthand. It happened with a buddy of mine. Hold on,
Mm-hmm.
let me get something to drink.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, that like what he said. Like, I mean, they still don't like each other because of that. Even though all those people that did those horrible things, most of them are dead, are too old to like even remember it. Probably, you know what I mean? It's just like it hasn't been that long ago, but it's been long enough ago where that it's still there. It's still prevalent. It's still prevalent to this day. Almost like not 100 years ago. I was about to say 100 years ago, but it hasn't been that long. I mean, I mean, that's what happens. That's what's gonna happen between Russia and Ukraine. Families are gonna be divided in this war.
Wait, what happened?
No, I was letting you go ahead and keep on going about what you have to say. Oh, he disconnected, I think. Well, oopsie daisies. Audio bitrate. My audio bitrate's off. Oh, shitty. Shitty titties, man. Audio current bitrate is 0. I gotta fix my audio bitrate. But yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't do a regular stream tonight. I decided just to do a little podcast because may as well. Where do I go for that? Audio bitrate? 160. Fun. But yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot of bad in this world, and I wish there wasn't. But I mean, it's bad happens. And you have good Wi-Fi. We may have good Wi-Fi. I do have good Wi-Fi. Um, but yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the podcast early now. Next podcast will be way, 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 way longer than the next time. Next podcast will be longer. And stream will be, and I will do a regular stream tomorrow. I promise, guys. I'm sorry I had to do this. I decided to do this podcast because I couldn't get the game to work. I'll try to get the game to work so that tomorrow I'll be able to stream and you'll be able to see how fucking good this FPS is on this game, on this PC. But thank you for everyone that listened to this podcast. Make sure you guys subscribe and like it up the podcast and let me know what you guys, if you guys want me to try to bring people on, maybe, or if you guys would want to see like, anything on this podcast, me talk about anything on this podcast, bring up anything on this podcast that you guys want to hear my opinions on, or even want me to research and get new opinions on. But I appreciate everyone. Appreciate everyone that is viewing this now and even after. I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next podcast or even in the next stream. Peace out, everybody.